incredibly lucky to be back out here in Kona, Hawaii, ahead of the Ironman World Championships. I first competed in 2017. And 6 years on, I must admit that I've forgotten some of those initial questions I had, the nerves, the excitement, and a little bit of that overall feeling of overwhelm with just trying to plan such a trip. And I think it's time to try to reignite some of that. So I want to relive the experience. And today we are going to be following an age group rookie as she comes to compete in Kona. Let me introduce Kim Barfoot-Brace. To give context, Kim is a friend and a triathlete. Now, I knew Kona was a dream, but I hadn't actually realised she had qualified until she texted me, and it turns out it's all a bit last minute. So, you are now joining us at our first catch-up in months, and I think Kim's got quite a few questions. Well, Kim, we have, I don't know, X amount of minutes for you to ask away of, like, anything you want to know that I can hopefully help you with Kona and, like, last-minute prep stuff.
Okay, cool. So, for me, the thing that I'm worried about most is definitely the swim.
Yeah.
I learnt to swim for my first Ironman, so I started learning to swim 6 years ago, and I'm okay, but yeah, the thought of swimming without a wetsuit in the sea is terrifying. So yeah, like, what's it like out there? It's a big, long out and back. Is it really typically choppy, and how much buoyancy can I expect?
Well, I mean, there is definitely, I think you need to frame it as the positives that there are from it. Like, you will feel more free in your shoulders, and like the fact the water is so warm, you just feel nice. Like, being in that water is just a really lovely experience. My advice is, like, hopefully I can meet up with you out there when, like, maybe for your first swim, and we can have a swim together and just kind of try and relax into it and just enjoy being in Kona and that kind of aspect of it, and focus on the things that you can control and the positives, and admit it's going to be hard work, but you know, your swimming has improved so much over the years, and you know, just like try and remind yourself that you could never even thought of doing that 6 years ago.
I'm really excited about the bike leg, because it's pretty straightforward out and back, isn't it?
Yeah.
But how windy is it? Because obviously disc wheels are banned, but for me, like, rear disc wheels don't make any difference in the wind. It's the front wheel, and it just seems like quite an extreme measure. So how bad is that wind?
I mean, it totally varies, and there's like some years when we've seen the record just get smashed is when there's been like very little wind or it's been blowing one direction. It's very constant because it's open, so you're not going to have a huge amount of gusts. Like, it does kind of swirl down off the volcano a little bit, but it's relatively constant. I don't like riding in the wind, and I had quite a relatively for me, deep front wheel, so I didn't like it. But you're confident in your bike handling, so you'll have that advantage. And it's a perfect course for you because it's death boring. Like, you know, it is a matter of getting in an aerial position and holding it and just being out the back, and you don't see anybody for ages. And that's my worst nightmare. But you know, you're good at that kind of thing. So.
Well, I'll have a lot of people to catch up with after the swims.
So yeah, the bike, you'll be fine, I'm sure.
And the run, I must admit, only recently I looked at the course properly. I just presumed it would be a bit of a circuit like your typical Ironman, but it's not, is it? It's quite a long out and back, and then like a little bit around,
around the energy lab, and then you kind of come back along the Queen K, and then you have a last little bit when you get crowds again. So it's quite a sort of lonely.
Is it quite like the course profile looks like it's a little bit lumpier than I thought it would have been as well? But
I mean, you go out along Eely Drive, and that's a great bit to start with. You're finding your run legs, and there's lined with crowds, and everyone's cheering. It's flat, and you'll see familiar faces, and that'll be great. You come back, then you go up quite a steep hill, and it was actually Paul who used to coach both of us. He was the one who said to me, like, you need to walk that bit, and I remember being like, really? Like, I'm planning to already walk, and you definitely need to walk that bit, just because again, the heat. You want to stop your heart rate going crazily high, because once it gets there, it's really hard to bring it back down. So that's Polani Drive is a relatively steep one. Okay. A few people might go past you, but you'll pass them again. Like, it's worth just having that, like, again, keeping an eye on your heart rate because of the heat.
I think, like, number one goal is to enjoy it and get that medal. So my decision process leading up to it will always have that in mind. So
I think that's so important. You've got to remember that the whole way through. And it's maybe once in a lifetime, like you're saying.
yes.
So it will be awesome. I'm so excited that you're coming, and we're going to be out there.
Likewise. Yeah, I can't believe it. It's like a dream. Thank you so much.
We'll see you out there.
Yeah.
So I
been heat training for Kona 3 times a week, which basically means being on my bike in my basement, which is already pretty warm, without any windows, without a fan, and yeah, sometimes extra clothes. Started off with easy sessions, and then as time's gone on, been doing the more challenging sessions, and then doing a brick run where I put on lots of clothes, really hat afterwards. It's been really interesting to see how my body has responded to the heat. Heart rate going up, power going down. So I'm on my way for a swim at Bobster. Gonna do 5 laps today, which is about 3.7k, although the conditions will be very different to what they'll be like in Hawaii. The swim is definitely the thing that's worrying me the most. I only learnt to swim 6 years ago for my first Ironman. So yeah, definitely gonna be pushing me outside of my comfort zone, going non-wetsuit as well. And I'm fully expecting to be the last person out of the water in my age group. So I am about to register. Got everything I need, hopefully. They'll let me in.
How are you? Ready to register?
I am ready.
We're so happy to have you here.
I love it. I've not experienced it like this before. Oh, I actually feel quite emotional. I am Kimberly Barfoot Brace.
So we have come down to the famous pier, and Kim, obviously first time in Kona, you've probably heard lots about the swim start and the pier, and I know it's been your fearful point, but how are you feeling just being here and seeing it all?
Oh, it's amazing. It's blown me away. The water, as you can see, is so beautiful. And I am nervous, going in the water without a wetsuit. The only sea swimming I've done is in the UK, which we all know what that's like. So yeah, I am feeling nervous but excited, but I just want to get in there, and I think once I've given it a go, I can feel it, I'll probably feel hopefully a bit more confident about the race.
Yeah, I mean it's beautiful, there's loads of lovely fish, so I think you just go in and we just have a floater bar. Everyone's still smiling, which is a good sign.
Yeah.
How was it, Kim?
It's absolutely beautiful, so clear, and just seeing all the fish, it's amazing. I've definitely felt more buoyant than I was expecting, but yeah, it did feel a little bit choppy, out there, but it's a bit later in the day, so hopefully it won't be like that on race morning, it'll be a bit calmer.
Well, Kim, it seems really nice and calm here. Was that just outside your apartment? But it feels like the last 24 hours maybe hasn't been so calm.
No. So, woke up early this morning, went for my final ride, and after having the service at Canyon yesterday, which was brilliant, I changed my chain to a lovely new...
You changed it after you'd had your service?
Yes, to my new wax chain, and I wanted to ride out with it. And I've done this so many times. Every time I TT, I change my chain. So it's something that I'm experienced in doing. I knew I'd put it on properly, etc. Rode for about 3 minutes, and then suddenly I just stopped the momentum, and my rear mech basically went into my cassette, and I was at the top of a hill, so luckily I could roll back home.
Okay.
And I took it apart. I took oversized wheel pulley system apart, and basically the chain had bent within that, and then snapped the front of that too. So managed to put it back together, but then the rear mech was all not working properly, but luckily Canyon have sorted it out for me, so I think it's probably the only race should have a Canyon mechanic there to sort it out. So
has that been the only stress? Everything else has gone smoothly?
Everything else has gone pretty smoothly. I'd say the swim, I've talked about it a lot, but it's the thing that's been on my mind. And when I first came here and we went for that swim, I felt really good about it because the water felt more buoyant and it was just so beautiful, and I really enjoyed going out with yourself and then my sister. But then yesterday I went for a swim by myself, and it was around lunchtime, and it was choppier, and it felt like there were currents as well.
Okay.
And I only went to like the second buoy, and it felt like I'd gone out forever. And I just felt like I was being pulled around and I couldn't see properly. And it just really shook me. And yeah, that wasn't great. So that kind of confidence that I had has gone a bit.
Did you go back in today with your sister?
I didn't in the end. I don't think they were letting people in, and decided that I just needed to chill out and just not worry about it. I may never be in this situation again, and that water is so amazing. So I just need to enjoy it and get through it and know that I will get through it. And the slower I am in the swim, then the more fun I'm going to have on the bike.
Oh, there you go. That's a good positive. And try and hang on, like when you were then just talking about when the first day here, you could just see you sort of looked happy and relaxed. So try and hang on to that as well, and just think of those memories when you get there in the morning. And I'm so excited to see you race and just like see you actually out there on this course. It's like, it's crazy just to be able to watch a friend on this incredible island. So I'm excited. Like, yeah.
Well, I remember when we first knew each other, I couldn't swim, and I was about to learn to swim, and that was 6 years ago for my first Ironman, which was a year later. So yeah, it's been quite a journey. So thank you for your support in that.
Best of luck, and just have a good time.
Thank you.
Oh. Awesome.
And I'll cry again.
Right, we've got a busy few days of filming, so I'm going to leave Kim and her family to crack on and hopefully catch up with her later in the week.
So you can see the swim course behind me, and I've actually got a bit teary looking at how far away it seems. One of the lovely people helping here told me to stop looking at it because it will just stress me out, which it definitely has. So I'm not going to look again now. Here's Steve. He is in securely, ready to go tomorrow.
Getting Kim ready for the race. Mum's plaiting the hair and putting on the tattoos.
I can't believe we are literally heading out onto the bike. We just found Kim. How are you doing, Kim?
I'm feeling a bit emotional. I'm feeling really emotional. Can't believe I'm about to do it.
You'll make me emotional. You gotta go. Have a great race.
Bye. I love you. Bye.
Doing great. Just keep going. Look after yourself.
Well, Kimmy's going to turn up in about an hour's time, so we're quite excited to get near the finish, to see her at the finish. So,
go Kimmy!
Go Kimmy, go!
Kim's slowed the pace, so I've moved from the finish line. I've walked up to the bottom of Killarney to try and see her for the last mile, so we're hoping to catch her here, me and Cleo, to give her that final push onto the finish. You're so close! I'll see you at the finish! We love you!
Good job, felicidades, Marta! Muy bien, Marta!
Well, Kim, you've had 12 hours, I think, to decompress and process a little bit. I just wanted to start with like the whole Kona experience, not just the race, but you've only had 10 weeks ago, you didn't even know you were coming, and you've had this dream. Does it actually feel like the dream you thought?
Yeah, it really does. The location is super special. There's definitely quite a spiritual vibe about the place, and the race, the whole race experience, there's lots of little touches which just make it very unique to a normal Ironman. And as much as it does feel a bit weird and is a bit disappointing not to see the guys do their thing, it did feel very special, it being all women out there yesterday and so many women athletes around, just generally during the whole period. But that was definitely part of the vibe.
And having your whole female crew supporting you. They're here having their breakfast in the background.
They've been amazing, and their pinkness wasn't standing out quite as much as it normally did.
Yeah, exactly. It was like once or twice when we were trying to find you last night, I said, oh, that's Kim. Oh, no, it's another pink.
Yeah, it's a lot more pink, yeah. just quite funny. But yeah, the race itself, the heat environment here, like even the best athletes succumb to it, and it has an effect on people
in different ways.
In different ways, and also, you know, one day you might be able to deal with it, and another day you can't. That's like my observation from what's happened. So to finish it after I did have that moment earlier on in the race that obviously affected me massively, but to be able to just sit back, take it easy, and just manage what I was going through to get to the finish line, and actually make sure that I enjoyed that run as well. As challenging as it was at moments, there was never a second where I thought, I'm not going to finish this. I always knew I was going to find a way to finish. So yeah, super special, and obviously couldn't stop crying yesterday from the start really, and then at the end as well I was very teary. I actually feel okay. I'm up and down the stairs. I don't feel
you don't look like someone who's sort of just done an Ironman.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing was probably I don't sleep and I'm like wired and tired.
I think you're not alone on that one. I think a lot of people are. Well, at least you're now eating and you're smiling and everything's good. Well, I mean, massive thank you for letting us invade your space and follow you over the last couple of weeks and out here and follow you on the race day. It's been a real pleasure to see a friend race and just like get through this and with your family as well. So thank you.
Thank you. It's been really special.
Oh, no more tears are allowed. We need to wrap this up quickly before Kim cries again. If you guys have enjoyed watching this, we'd love your support. You can give the video a like, or you can click on the globe and subscribe if you're not yet doing so. And you can follow Kim and Brian the dog on Instagram if you want to see more of the crazy endeavours that Kim gets up to.